being bold is what we are called to do. And part of being bold, in the dictionary definition, is the ability to take risks. I read a story about a woman back in the 1850s who took a big risk, acted boldly, and changed the culture of not only the city she lived in, New York City, but also our culture as a nation in relationship to how we treat one another regardless of skin color. Her name is Elizabeth Jennings Graham, and she was a school teacher, and she played organ for her church. Both in her home growing up and in her church, she knew for sure that God loved her, that she was God's beloved. One day, Sunday morning, she was running late to her job at church. It happens. And so what she did was she jumped onto a horse-drawn bus. That's how it was, a cart really with seats on it, and that was the mode of transportation in New York City at that time. Elizabeth jumped onto a horse-drawn car, and the conductor undertook to get her off, first alleging that the car was full. When that was shown to be false, he pretended the other passengers were displeased at her presence. But when she insisted on her rights, he took hold of her by force to expel her, and she resisted. The conductor got her down on the platform, jammed her bonnet, soiled her dress, and injured her person. Quite a crowd gathered, but she effectively resisted. Finally, after the car had gone on further, with the aid of a policeman, they succeeded in removing her. She was removed from that horse-drawn car because her skin was black. And she wasn't allowed, according to the customs and law of that time, to ride alongside people who were white. But she carried in her heart the bold awareness that God's love included her. That case went to trial, and while all those horse-drawn carriages were operated by private companies, one company said that now their carriages would be available to all people at all times. It took a full 10 years before all the horse-drawn carriages in New York City were open to all people at all times. I think of the boldness with which Elizabeth Jennings Graham lived her faith. It changed things. The ability to live our faith is not personal heroics. It's based on God's love in our hearts, and that love includes all people. That's the essence of our faith, about following the way of Jesus.